This film looked at housing in Fintona, County Tyrone, in 1953. Of the town's 314 houses, about a quarter were like these, old, without basic amenities, and mostly inhabited by Catholics.
Most of these little houses hold big families. Here are Mrs. Quinn and 3 of her children outside their cottage in Back Lane. There are 6 in the family, all living here. Mr. Campbell of Mill Street and some of his children. 8 people live here. There's a family of 8 here too. This is Mrs. McGuigan, Castle Street, with 5 of her children. Mrs. Pearson, Water Lane, with 5 of her children. Again, a family of 8. Mrs. Mullen of Mill Street has 8 children, all living here. Big families and little houses are normal in these back streets of Fintona.
48 council houses have been built recently in Fintona, some at Craigavon Park, but only a quarter had gone to Catholics, who made up 2/3 of the population. It was common for small Protestant families from sound homes to get council houses.
For example, number 5 Craigavon Park is occupied only by Mr. Gillespie and his wife. Number 12 only by Mrs. Weir and her daughter. Mrs. Adams lives alone in number 9 and Mrs. Jones alone in number 10. Miss Mills lives alone in number 7. Mr. Gibson and his wife live alone at 24 Mitchellburn Terrace. Mr. Coulter and his wife at number 7. Mr. Holsworth and his sister at number 1. Most of these people already had quite comfortable homes when the council houses were allotted to them. Mr. Holsworth, for instance, sold this farm at Kilgort, near Fintona, before moving to his new house. This bungalow at Coney Warren, 10 miles from Fintona, is also a council house controlled by the Omagh Rural District Council. Mrs. Jones left it for 10 Craigavon Park, where she lives alone.
Such injustices could not have happened in the rest of the United Kingdom. Local authorities there allocated houses on a point system. People were placed on the waiting list according to the size of their family and the condition of their house. In Northern Ireland, it was at the discretion of local councillors.
I would be very foolish to deny that certainly discrimination did take place. But I think it must be pointed out that discrimination went on in both camps, Protestants against Catholics and Catholics against Protestants. And I think it must be accepted that politicians, to exist and continue in power, will always discriminate against the other side, to keep their own side happy, to get the votes, to keep them in the position that they're in.